These supermodels captivate with their confident walk, take no prisoner's gaze, and enigmatic air. But fashion isn't a dominion belonging just to women. We are here at the first ever Men's Fashion Week in Asia, Men's Fashion Week 2011 in Singapore, here at Marina Bay Sands. Compared to the likes of Milan and Paris as the world's fashion capitals, Singapore has hardly chalked up much cultural capital in this formidable international powwow. But it's the third country in line to host Men's Fashion Week. So why Singapore?
Because I'm Singaporean. I've had the opportunity to work around the world. I've had the opportunity to work in all the fashion capitals. This would not have happened if Singapore did not give us the opportunity. So I think it's about time I gave back to my country. At the same time, Singapore is growing at such an exponential rate. We've got IRs, everyone is coming to Singapore. All the major labels are opening in Singapore right now. It's only obvious that Singapore should host an event like this.
I think it's a great platform for Asians, for Asian designers, Asians in fashion, down to the models. Every aspect, it gives us a platform to do something else. It's all about the evolution. It's needed more and more because it's a growing thing in Asia. And the more options we have, the more we can do, the more it could grow.
And I'm gonna wear it with all of my passion.
Kim Chung Wilkins, the UK-based half-Singaporean designer who showcased his debut collection, Bodybound, for the first time in the world at Men's Fashion Week here, also thought Singapore seemed like the obvious choice in Asia.
I certainly think in terms of the consumer side, without doubt, and certainly there are more and more kind of Singaporean designers submitting more interesting proposals in terms of fashion context, not just shirts and jumpers and V-necks and ties. People are free in their minds to be really kind of quite creative. Right now, what we're doing, I guess, today we are making it the fashion capital of Southeast Asia.
Launched on March 30th, the 5-day inaugural men's fashion event showcased the Autumn-Winter 2011 collections of up to 15 renowned brands from Singapore, Asia, and internationally. There's a lot going on in 5 days, but were locals even aware of Men's Fashion Week?
It's all about fashion.
Do you know that Men's Fashion Week is happening now?
Yes, I do.
Do you know that Men's Fashion Week is happening in Singapore now?
Yeah. Sorry, I have no idea. Yes. Not sure. No, actually, no. No.
But does hosting the inaugural Men's Fashion Week in Asia automatically qualify Singapore as a fashion capital?
There's been a lot of hype about Singapore being a fashion center, and I think that this event is one of those things that will definitely contribute to Singapore reaching that sort of fashion hub of Asia. I think a lot of people looked at Tokyo and Hong Kong as being the sort of real fashion capitals. I think that has changed somewhat. We've got people from overseas who are buyers coming to Singapore to actually look for product to put in their stores.
I don't really think of it in terms of is Singapore deserving? It just is. So I just feel that we are one Asian country that is in the forefront of fashion. There's Hong Kong, Japan. I mean, obviously Japan, Hong Kong, but now we have this Men's Fashion Week in Singapore, which puts Singapore on the map. Is it deserving? It's not a question whether it's deserving or not. It's just is.
Opinions on the street are just as hopeful.
So do you think that Singapore can be a fashion capital?
Okay, for Singapore fashion capital, not really, to be frank with. I believe that in Hong Kong or in Japan, yes, they might be a men's fashion capital.
Yeah.
Why? How so?
Because look around here, there's a lot of shopping champions that you can just buy anything you want,
I think so. Sure, of course, why not?
Yes, but you might have to give Singapore like a couple of years to actually grow into a fashion state. Should be.
The future, yes.
Sooner or later, man.
Okay, we get it. Singapore has not yet arrived. So what has hindered our progress to becoming a fashion capital so far?
I think there's for many international countries, they have cultures, dressings to, from young, the history also. Maybe for Singapore, they don't have that kind of cultures.
So can Singapore become a fashion capital? We ask the Globetrotters.
I think it can be. And I think it depends on the attitude and the approach of the population. But I think it's there. And I think the possibility is there as well.
Now, Singapore hasn't always been known as the fashion capital of Asia.
That's not true. I think Singapore is a great shopping capital. Everybody loves fashion, especially young people. I mean, I think, for Singapore, shopping is their national sport,
So how do we stack up so far against the international capitals?
I think with Singapore, it's probably, 4th, 5th, I guess. People here are really putting effort. I love how the government supports it, private organizations, support it, and it's really a collaborative effort that, that everybody in Singapore is pushing it to be the next capital. So I think it's a really good thing.
So it looks like Singapore might not yet be the fashion capital of Asia, but we're definitely taking steps towards becoming it.
It's all about fashion.